My research indicates that they use deer antlers, and they would have used the scapula of buffaloes. If you've ever picked up a cow scapula and looked at it, it makes a beautiful shovel. All you got to do is put a handle on it and you got a shovel. And so that, and then in one well that I read about in that near Midland, Texas, they found a digging stick in the bottom. Now that digging stick, they didn't give me the measurements, but you think about a Stone Age man holding a digging stick and using both hands in close quarters. You'd think it would be a couple of feet long, maybe 3. And on the end of that digging stick, they had tied a stone, ostensibly a sharp stone that would help them dig off those walls. So that's the tools that they had no metal at all. These are Stone Age people, so they had stones and sticks. That's all they had to dig that, and antlers. That was it. So, and I think a well like this one, 40 inches deep, 42 inches deep, from what I've read, would take them from 30 to 60 days to dig that thing right there. And they were digging for their survival. If they hadn't found water there, they probably wouldn't have made it. Little boy. This dreadful drought started in the 50s and it lasted 5 or 6 or 7 years. It was a terrible thing. And Dad lost his peanut crops, he lost his cotton crops, and then we lost all of our water. And this is one of the best springs in this part of the country that I know of. Well, this old spring was about to go dry. I think we might have had a little puddle over there and probably 15 cows. And the cows survived by drinking on that. But Dad knew we were about out of water, and that was before we had a drilled well out here. And it was either find more water or lose the cattle herd. And if we lost the cattle herd, they lost the ranch. I mean, it was that close. So they got the tractor out of the way. They got those teenagers in here, Jerry McEnroe, Cotton Stock Steel. And they started digging with shovels, and as I remember, 10 coffee cans and maybe 10 5-gallon buckets, metal 5-gallon buckets. And those teenagers dug here for a day or 2 days. Cotton Stock Steel is still alive, and he told me the other day on the phone it took them 2 days, he thought. And they dug it to the bottom, and when they got down there, there's a layer of blue shale at the bottom about 4 feet down. And that layer of blue shale is what produces the water here. And here it comes. Now, it doesn't come in a rush, it just trickles. And here the water came trickling, and I remember them yelling up to Dad, "Uncle Carroll, we've got your water," and everybody's gathered around right here. But as soon as we got to the bottom, it began to trickle and fill, And I would say, just guessing roughly, it was filling at the rate of about 1 inch per hour. You pump her down. If I pumped it down right now, we'd come back in the morning and be full again, which is, of course, what the Stone Age people wanted. It allowed them to survive, and it's exactly what my father wanted. It allowed us to manage to keep the ranch.